Do you recall the tale of Sleeping Beauty? It's that classic fairy tale where a princess is put under a spell by a wicked fairy, causing her to sleep for a century until a charming prince wakes her with a kiss. Well, what if I told you there might be more truth to it than we think? The part that always intrigued me was how the princess could stay so serene and youthful, untouched by time, while she slept for years on end. It seemed purely fantastical, just a story, until I stumbled upon something that made me question everything. Turns out, there's a surprising twist. Deep within the coal mines of Tyou, nestled in Russia, numerous enigmatic artifacts have been unearthed over time. Yet, none have stirred as much intrigue and controversy as this particular discovery. It's as if reality is challenging what we've always believed. Back in September 1969, in the village of Tyou district, an event of profound discovery unfolded. Alexander Kov, a miner, stumbled upon something extraordinary during his coal excavation. A marble sarcophagus buried 2 meters deep within a 20-meter layer, some 70 meters below the surface. As word spread, fellow miners flocked to witness the find, hoping for treasures hinted at by the intricate engravings adorning the sarcophagus. Such elaborate markings indicated that whoever lay within was a significant figure of their time, possibly interred with valuables, a common practice in ancient civilizations. The miners, eager to unveil the secrets within, attempted to pry open the sarcophagus to no avail. Their efforts with sledgehammers proved fruitless against the coffin's sturdy construction. Just when hope seemed lost, a curious phenomenon occurred. Under the sun's heat, the adhesive securing the lid began to soften, dripping onto the ground like putty. With the lid now accessible, the miners eagerly lifted it, revealing a sight that defied explanation. Inside lay a chamber filled with a peculiar translucent pink-blue liquid. Yet, what truly stunned the miners was the preserved form of a strikingly beautiful woman, seemingly in her 30s, with wide, haunting blue eyes gazing eerily into the void. A cascade of thick, dark blonde hair, tinged with red, cascaded down to her waist, delicately veiling her soft white hands resting peacefully at her side. Clad in a sheer white dress adorned with embroidered multicolored flowers, she appeared as if in a tranquil slumber, defying the passage of time. The miners were left baffled by the mystery of her preservation, pondering how she could maintain such a serene repose for an unknown duration. It was as if she existed in a realm between life and death, leaving them to wonder at the enigmatic tale hidden within her silent embrace. Towards the head of the coffin, the miners stumbled upon a curious black rectangular metal box, roughly 25 by 10 centimeters in size, with a rounded end, sparking bewilderment among them as to its purpose. News of the discovery swiftly spread like wildfire, drawing crowds eager to catch a glimpse of the mesmerizing woman within. The coffin became a local spectacle, open for public viewing from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. attracting visitors from all corners of the town. However, the excitement escalated when the news reached the regional center, prompting a sudden influx of officials ranging from bosses to firefighters, military personnel, and police officers. Uniformed personnel swarmed the scene, followed shortly by a brick-colored helicopter dispatching a dozen dignified individuals dressed in civilian attire. They wasted no time in declaring the area infectious, repeatedly emphasizing the word contagious to incite fear and prompt evacuation. Within minutes, the once crowded vicinity cleared, leaving only authorized personnel in attendance. Government agents, clad in grey suits, swiftly cordoned off the area, erecting a fence around the site of discovery. Names of individuals who had come into contact with the coffin or its vicinity were meticulously recorded under the guise of urgent medical examination due to alleged contagion risks. Meanwhile, witnesses were assembled and detained in isolation for several days, closely monitored by security personnel. They were cautioned against divulging any details of the peculiar find under threat of unspecified consequences. Only after a period of quarantine were they finally released back into the community. They attempted to airlift the coffin using a helicopter, but it proved too weighty for the task at hand. Opting for a different approach, they decided to drain the pink liquid from the container to lighten the load. However, as soon as the liquid was pumped out, a startling transformation unfolded before their eyes. The woman's body began to darken, her eyes turning pitch black as decay set in. Alarmed by this rapid deterioration, they swiftly halted the process and refilled the coffin with the liquid, witnessing a miraculous reversal as the woman's complexion regained its luminosity. Within moments, her cheeks flushed with color and her entire form returned to its pristine state. With no alternative, they transported the coffin, still filled with its mysterious liquid, to Noah's. The debris scattered on the ground, including the putty pieces and dirt, were collected and sealed in plastic bags, while the witnesses were instructed to depart the scene. Several days later, an elderly professor from Noah's addressed the villagers of Ravik at a local club, sharing preliminary findings from various laboratory tests conducted on the Tyou princess. This unexpected disclosure puzzled many, casting doubt on the authenticity of the story. After all, why would the government conceal such secrets only to later permit revelations? It seemed nonsensical. Nonetheless, the professor hinted that this ancient discovery held the potential to revolutionize historical perspectives. His presentation served as a teaser, suggesting that Soviet experts would soon unveil groundbreaking findings that would astonish the scientific community. Yet, such revelations never materialized, leading to speculation that perhaps the professor had been misled. The professor asserts that the grave dates back at least 800 million years. This claim carries significant implications, potentially challenging Darwin's theory of human evolution from apes. If true, it suggests that evolution as we understand it may not exist, aligning more closely with the beliefs of many religions, which propose that all living beings throughout history remain unchanged since the dawn of time. This places the woman's burial in the Carboniferous period of the Paleozoic era, predating the existence of dinosaurs, igniting a profound controversy within the scientific community. According to the professor, genetic testing revealed an astonishing 800% similarity between the woman's body and that of a modern Russian man. He hypothesized that originally the woman's body lay in a wooden crypt nestled within a dense forest. Over millennia, the crypt became buried deep underground, eventually collapsing and becoming encapsulated within a monolithic coal seam, deprived of air for millions of years. This revelation sparked a flurry of inquiries and theories as people grappled to comprehend the enigma surrounding this woman. Initially, some speculated she might be of extraterrestrial origin, a belief that persists among certain individuals today. The woman's remains raised more questions than answers. For instance, the fabric composing her princess dress defies scientific explanation, surpassing any technology known to humankind. Remarkably, her garments remained intact without decay. Similarly confounding was the pinkish liquid in which she was immersed, preserving her body despite centuries of death. Although some components of the liquid have been identified, originating from ancient varieties of onion and garlic, its overall composition remains elusive. There are even those who entertain the notion that the discovery isn't a woman's body, but rather a sophisticated biobot, a replica of a real person representing an advanced civilization. They speculate that the biobot was intentionally interred to impart knowledge to future generations, with the metal box found near her coffin possibly serving as a means of communication. Regardless of the interpretation, it is evident that this woman belonged to a civilization of remarkable sophistication, surpassing any known to date, including our own. The discovery was officially earmarked for ongoing research, with assurances of forthcoming revelations to the public. However, history has shown that government transparency is a rarity. True to form, within a mere week, the military descended upon Ravik, swiftly concealing the site of the discovery and issuing strict instructions for all witnesses to remain silent. Those who persisted in seeking the truth regarding the sleeping princess mysteriously met their demise. Tragically, individuals who dared to pursue the truth faced untimely deaths or accidents. For instance, one brave soul diligently pursued leads, even escalating his concerns to the Central Committee. Yet, a year later, he conveniently succumbed to heart failure, according to official records. Over the subsequent year, each of the 6 original witnesses to the coffin's unveiling perished in separate car accidents. This chilling pattern ensured that those privy to the events were silenced indefinitely. In the realm of journalism, the credibility of one's sources is paramount. Without reputable sources, a story holds little weight. The government of the time wielded its power to ensure that no credible witnesses would emerge. 4 years later, archaeological expeditions commenced along the shores and islands of Lake Baraku, near the initial discovery site, under the watchful eye of military protection. Local residents remained unaware of the excavation's true purpose, believing only that Stone Age graves were being unearthed. The government imposed strict secrecy measures akin to those of Area 51, with participants bound by oaths of silence under threat of severe consequences. The truth eventually surfaced through an unexpected source, a worker stationed in the quarantine area. In a moment of drunken candor at a local bar, he began divulging the secrets he had been privy to. According to him, 3 additional sarcophagi identical to the initial discovery had been found, containing similar contents. Eventually, the government deemed the excavation on the islands and banks of Burla complete, and hundreds of graves were discreetly covered with earth to erase any traces of the event. As time passed, both the grave and the story surrounding it faded from memory, until it seemed as though the Till Princess discovery had never occurred. Critics of the tale have dismissed it as nothing more than an embellished narrative, presenting evidence and logical theories to support their claims. While it's true that a coal mine existed near the village of Ravik in the 1960s, and individuals mentioned in the story were indeed employed there, they argue that these are merely coincidences. Moreover, the assertion that the find dates back 800 million years has been debunked, as no other coal deposits on Earth are known to be that ancient. The oldest known deposits from the Devonian period are estimated to be no more than 350 million years old, rendering the claim false. Regarding the mysterious deaths and accidents reported, skeptics contend that they were natural occurrences rather than sinister plots. For instance, Tatiana Pavlovna Karnova, mentioned in the story as the spouse of miner Karov, stated that her husband passed away 5 years prior after a prolonged illness, dispelling any notions of foul play. Additionally, the claim that blasting could not have occurred at the coal mine in 1969 due to its status as an open pit, with large-scale mining operations having ceased 30 years prior, further undermines the credibility of the narrative. Regarding the alleged genetic analysis conducted by the professor, it's worth noting that the understanding of genetics was limited in 1969, making it improbable for an expert statement as claimed to have been provided. While the explanations provided seem plausible, there are lingering doubts that prevent complete acceptance of the narrative. I remain open to being proven wrong, and I invite any opposing viewpoints to be shared in the comments section below. The discovery of the Till Princess is not an isolated incident. Similar findings occurred in various regions, including Dagestan in 1974, the Kazakh SSR in 1976, and between the towns of Mai and Vui in 1978. These instances suggest that such discoveries were commonplace in ancient civilizations. One notable case occurred in China in 1971 when Chinese archaeologists unearthed the remarkably well-preserved body of a noblewoman named Xinji in Hunan province. She had been interred in 4 stacked sarcophagi, enveloped in thick layers of coal and clay for over 2,000 years. Like the Till Princess, Shinji's body was submerged in a yellow preservative liquid, which rapidly dissipated upon the tomb's opening, mirroring the events surrounding the Till Princess. Following the discovery of Shinji's tomb, tales of remarkably preserved bodies, marble sarcophagi, and unfreezable liquids began to circulate. Another notable account emerged from the Altai region in 1993, where a genuine Ukok princess was unearthed. Believed to have lived between 500–400 BC as a young shaman, her body remained remarkably intact due to being encased in ice. However, as the ice gradually melted, her preservation diminished, necessitating swift action by archaeologists to salvage the find. These discoveries suggest that such occurrences were common practices among individuals of high status in ancient civilizations. Yet, despite over 55 years since the Tyou princess's unearthing, numerous questions remain unanswered. Who was she? Did she truly exist 350 million or 800 million years ago? What was her origin? Most significantly, what compelled the government to conceal the truth from the public? These lingering mysteries underscore the need for further investigation and transparency surrounding this enigmatic discovery.